And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with the Game Boy Geek.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Today we're going back to Las Vegas, back to the Strip, back into the old days when things are being built. Yep, we're going back to Lords of Vegas, but we're looking at an expansion for Lords of Vegas called Up, where you can now raise things up to different levels, and it also adds a 5th and 6th player. We're going to be doing some construction moving up. I'll show you how it's different and what I finally think on the other side. This video is just for the Up expansions for Lords of Vegas, so if you're looking for a review of the Lords of Vegas, the full game, there's ones that already exist that I've already done. So here's what comes with the game, is we have a new stack of money, because there's 2 more players that you can play with, 5 or 6. We have purple dice and black dice, and there's 48 of these risers, just a few of them here, but there's 48 that come with the game, and essentially they're just sort of pictures of lobbies and interesting parts of the casino, maybe a fountain. Here's just a closer look at some of the components here that come with it. Here's a nice closer look at those tiles. So the casino tiles, the risers, and the dice. Other than the 5th and 6th player, the Up adds basically one more action that you can do during your turns, just like all the other ones that are in the base game. So let's say we have a casino here, purple has it, and instead of maybe, you might want to, used to maybe sprawl to one of these for twice the amount, but instead of going that way, you can now go up. So you take some of these risers, and for each level that you go up, you pay 15 million flat. It doesn't matter what the tile's worth underneath the lot, it's always 15 million. Now you always have to rise up for every block in that casino. In this case, there's just one. So he would put a riser there, and that would be 15 million. If, in this case, there were 2 of them and this person wanted to build up on both, you always have to build everything in the casino that you own. Of course, you have to own a casino to be the boss of the casino in order to move up. So this guy, if he wanted to build up, he would have to build it on both of them because this is still one casino, and so it would be 15 million per. So this would be a $30 million upgrade. But what does that do for you? Well, now that these casinos are worth are at a level of 2, if this casino scored, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And you know, so depending on the level. Now you can build up as high as however many players there are. So in this case, I have 2 risers in my casino. That is a level 3 casino. With 3 players, that would be as high as you could build. With 4 players, it's just, you know, you could go up 1 more. 5, 1 more. So however, whatever level this is, it's capped at however many players there are. Now it's a bit of a trade-off, because if someone had sprawled instead of building up, they would still get, let's say, 2 points if this casino scored, but they would be getting the cash from both of them. So if they had sprawled here, it would have been 30 million, and they would have gotten 2 points, but they'd be getting 7 million if that scored. This way you're getting less cash but more points. The other thing it does is offers some protection. Let's say back in the old days, before you could build up, let's say the red guy built a casino here. Well, if this casino was still on the first level like it normally is, he could easily come over here and try to reorganize, or actually he would actually already be the boss of this casino and he would take over his casino. But in Up, a casino is never considered the same casino, even if it's the same color, unless they're at the same level. So building up offers some protection from people coming in and reorging your casino, because now since these aren't the same level, he would have to build up to the same level as this and have it be the same color in order to try to reorg and have it be the same casino. You can still sprawl with a raised casino. If this person wanted to, let's see, he's got 2 risers here. If he wanted to sprawl here, it would be the normal sprawl cost, which is twice, it would be 16 million, plus 2 risers, because you have to sprawl and build up to the level of that casino all at the same time. So it'd be 30 million, 15 for each riser, because it's at 2 different levels, plus the 16 million, which is the sprawl. So you can sprawl, but it costs a lot. And for gambling purposes, usually you can gamble 5 million per block in a casino that somebody owns. And in this case, if the risers weren't here, you could gamble up to 10 million in these people's casinos. But since they're on a level of 2, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times 5, you can gamble up to 20 million in this casino. So Up gives you that balance of, you know, you're probably still going to need some larger casinos to bring in some cash, and then you can change that cash into some more concentrated ups, which will give you less cash, but still some more points. And it's a balancing act between building up or sprawling in order to get more points, and it adds an interesting balance to the game. All right, well, there is Up. Many of you probably didn't hear the story, but I went to Gamma, and I got a chance to play this right when it came out, and I loved it, and I got the only copy that was known, I think, at the time in the United States, and I was getting ready to take it home, and I was prancing around the hotel. I was gonna be the first person to really have it in my house, and I got a call from the designer, Mike Selinker, who was also there, and he was leaving for a convention the next day, and he needed it. And so I was all excited. I had it packed, and I had to give it back to him, you know, to give to him to go to it. But it was nice. I got a nice chat with Mike, and we talked about the game I love so much. So it was an interesting story. I finally got my copy to review, and I love it. A lot of people online are actually going, oh, I read the rules. This just seems one little thing. Why would I buy this? Wrong. This little tiny little mechanic, I think, changes the game for better. I love Lords of Vegas. It's one of my favorite games. But the only problem that I've had with this game is that after about 90 minutes of playing, which is how long it usually takes us to play, more often than not, it seemed like it always came down to a couple of people reorging and re-rolling a huge casino that touches the strip, and whoever happens to have gotten control of that casino before the game over card, timed it right, ended up winning. And not all the time, but more often than I would have liked. And I felt like I love the luck in the game. I love how it thematically fits, but it was just, that was one thing that rubbed me the wrong way, even though I still love the game. This kind of eliminated that for me, which makes this game close to perfect for me. I love it. The biggest difference for me is that you can build up these casinos early in the game to get you, the normal way, to get you a bunch of cash, because you have those different die amounts at all the different casinos. And once you have cash, you know, instead of sprawling, not that you don't sprawl anymore, but instead of sprawling, now you have a good balanced difference that you can now build up. So that casino, that lot that you had in the middle of nowhere that was doing you no good almost the whole game, towards the end of the game, if you have a lot of cash from your other bigger casinos, can really prove to be huge, because now you can get that lot and build straight up, and now you can get a lot of points. It can push you past those break points. So it really changes things. Also, the reason why it mitigates the reorging at the end is because it's really hard for someone to come in next to you. They can't just reorg, you know, put a casino next to you and reorg you and take over your casino, because they have to be at the same level, and it's very expensive to build up. So you can build up, and it kind of isolates you. It also changes the board a little bit, because now you can't, sometimes it hurts having this huge casino in the middle, because you have to work around this casino that's built up in the middle of the block. So it changes things spatially, it changes things thematically, it changes things mechanically, and I really love that. You can trade for lots that are in the middle of nowhere, knowing that you can build up there later, and it's, you know, they might not see it as value. So I just really loved it because it mitigated the factor of the reorging, and it's really opened the game up a lot. And the idea of where you can never build up higher than how many players there are is actually very interesting, because we played a 3-player game again last night, and I built up pretty early in the game, and I got a huge lead, but then when I got towards the end, there were only 3 players. So once I was past that 3 break point and I got to the 4s, my up casinos did me no good, so I still had to have it. So I love how it's like, it's a different mechanic. It definitely helps you get to a different, you know, towards a winning condition and a different strategy, but it's balanced, because I may have been better sprawling earlier and getting more cash early, or, you know, so it's really a good balance, and it gives you just another twist to this mechanic. 5 and 6 players, I played it with 5. Again, it's a finite time with those cards, so the more players you have, the less moves you get. So with 5 and 6, you get less moves, which I don't like as much, but as the designer Mike told me, well, that just means everyone's gonna have to do a lot more trading, because you have less moves, so you're gonna have to do more negotiation. I'm always down for negotiation. So I still, 3 and 4 is still my favorite, but now I won't turn down a 5 or 6 player game. It adds more negotiation, it adds up. This is, if you like Lords of Vegas, no brainer, you have to get up.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.